I really can't help but love that music. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. It is a pleasure to welcome you all here this evening to Chateau del Nic in Boudoir del Brown on this Thursday night. It's the 13th of May, and we are here to witness the continuity of life and the truth that life is indeed eternal. This is a Thursday night service on behalf of Littleport Christian Spiritualists, part of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, which means that everyone is welcome, both those watching now at home live and those who are going to watch in the future a little bit later on in the evening, in the next few days, whenever. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And I've just realized that my drying socks are in view, so I'm just going to get rid of them. I do apologize. That's life for you. It gets in the way. The good news is they're nice. They're tiny. I've started using trainers. That's the reason why I've got those diddy-bitty ones, because I'm trying to get a little bit more in shape. And I'm sure there'll be quite a few more comments about that. But for now, let us worry not about such materialistic and ephemeral things. Let us think of the night. And the night requires a medium. And tonight we are very, very pleased and very, very privileged to welcome a very good friend of this church to our platform. Are you there, Reverend Tony Swindells?
I am. Good evening. Welcome, Littleport. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, it's always a pleasure and never a chore. Thank you for coming back. You'll be pleased to know that I've got no sneaky surprises lined up for you tonight. I thought you deserved a rest. No, seriously, there is someone having technical issues. I know it is pure coincidence. It just looks really, really bad because all the times I trick you and catch you out with someone that you might know, so we cover up their face and everything. But seriously, you do not know this person. They do exist. They do want a message. It's just irony. It's spirit getting their own back on me for doing sneaky things.
It's just spirit showing that they will get a message to where it's needed, no matter what. No matter how many tricks we try and play, they will get that message through.
Absolutely agree. It is fantastic. And you know, this is the importance of evenings like this, because it demonstrates to a huge swathe of people that wouldn't normally walk into a spiritualist church what we are about. Not just the mediumship, not just that we are normal human beings that do not sit chanting under a huge lamp waiting for a toffee crisp to come descending down. It is the philosophy and the principles of spiritualism that guide our hand. And I think that is, you know, been the truest blessing in the truest sense of the word. Over this last, good long while now, that people can witness without the fear of walking in and finding loads of floating toffee crisps, which, I think is brilliant.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one myself at the minute.
I've got a whisper downstairs, but we all know that that's something that I should never eat before church and never have done. The irony. Well, Tony, it's an absolute pleasure to have you back on, mate. Always a pleasure. And I understand that we're going to be organising a time later on for me to come and see you up north.
Fab.
Yes, yeah. Your chat with requests. So we'll sort that out as well while we're still chatting later on. But for now, my friends, it's time to welcome to the platform. It's funny, the things you mention in this way of life. The conversation has turned in the chat box to which is better, toffee crisp or picnic bars? Personally, I prefer a Kit Kat myself, but that's another story. On that note, Reverend Lynn, are you there, my lovely?
Yes, I think I shall knock twice for yes. Well, thank you for inviting me onto your platform. and very, very happy to see Reverend Tony. And I don't have to whisper soon to be ordained.
It's official.
You're looking absolutely spot on as usual. And our conversation before we actually went live was about I was having the conversation saying that I was thinking about the power of the spirit as something that I wanted to talk about. And Reverend Nick, who I'd been sort of asking if he would put some of the teachings, the trance teachings that I'd received and published in the old Psychic News into a book. And he said, look what I've been doing. And he showed me the pages that he'd already sorted out, about 200 and something of them. And he quoted something like 35,000 words or something, you know. I'm not sure if I'd mentioned power of spirit before that or after it, but anyway, the fact is this, that I was thinking about how, you know, so many people feel powerless, and not just powerless against, you know, disease and famine and you know, all the sort of scourges that the human race is prey to, but about one's situations and about, you know, war and enmity and all the dreadful things that go on around one. And, you know, even when we're sitting down to our sort of civilized cup of tea, if we allow our thoughts to stray outside of our comfort zone, which for me is my cup of tea, the minute we sort of start to think about what else is going on, we are actually made to feel powerless, because there is so much that we can do absolutely nothing about. As much as we try, sometimes it's like hitting our heads against a brick wall, you know, on any one endeavour that we may embark upon. And as for the leaders of nations, you know, their feelings of powerlessness must be multiplied 1,000-fold, because they actually also have the responsibility of producing some kind of resolution to all these dreadful problems that beset humankind in a national context, in all the various nations of the world, and find themselves sometimes at a loss. When we look at the conflict in the Holy Land, when we look at the conflict everywhere, you know, sometimes we feel absolutely powerless. And with powerlessness, its bedmate is despair. And the fact is this, that having mentioned Israel, for instance, one of the admonitions of Judaism for the Jews is that they should not cry over anybody. In other words, they should never despair about anything or anybody. And when you look at the situation over the centuries, over the millennia, in fact, that beset that one particular race of people, that tribe of people, we can see how, as powerless as they may have felt, as they would have felt, that something greater than themselves dealt with their problems. And this is true, of course, for every human being and every nation. And if there is a goodness underlying whatever it is that people want to bring about, in terms of they feel powerless to do this, you know, powerless to bring about peaceful solutions, powerless to provide housing and shelter for everybody, powerless to provide food and drink for everybody. And here, you know, you could even sort of say on a global scale, the one thing that we can be sure of is that the amount of powerlessness that you feel when you're confronting those kinds of problems, the more you have to say that all the powerfulness is in the spirit. And that's where spiritualism comes in. Because we understand as spiritualists that there is indeed what is called the Holy Spirit, the Great Spirit, the Spirit. And when we talk about the Spirit, we're talking about the great power that brought everything into being, the great power that actually made us. And if you think that that is less factual than it should be, that maybe I'm sort of talking about a fairy story here, actually think about it. I can say to you that, take two human beings and they create another human being. How can that be? That's more than any fairy story, but it's a fact that in the thick darkness that is spoken about in the Old Testament, for instance, Moses used to sit in a tent of thick darkness. All us spiritualists understand about seance conditions and sitting in a blackout condition, sitting in a thick darkness, in order to inquire of the Lord, as they said in the Old Testament, we also inquire of the Spirit in such conditions. And the fact is that the human being, physical human being, is created in thick darkness. If you think about it, the light, the divine spark of life comes together in the thick darkness and creates another human being from a spark. And that to me is proof indeed that there is the power of the Spirit that is actually everywhere, and that we don't need to feel powerless if we can feel powerful, if we sit in that power of the Spirit, if we know, and I don't mean just sitting on a chair and waiting, I'm talking about going about our daily life, knowing that there is this power of the Spirit that's available to us, to each and every one of us. So when we look at things that we feel are beyond us, beyond our capabilities to make any difference to, when we see, death and suffering, and human beings being really wicked to other human beings and indeed to other creatures of this planet, we have to know that with the power of the Spirit that we can actually make a difference. And there will be a difference made, because every terrible thing that has ever happened to human beings or this planet in the past has passed. It passeth. And when it goes, it leaves a wealth of experience. And we have all understood and learned from our histories. And if you like, that is it's a big lesson to us, that we're here learning this huge lesson from Spirit, and that we are Spirit ourselves, and we come from Spirit ourselves. We are born into these bodies by this humongous act of Spirit, of powerful Spirit. And here we are. And then when we finish with our bodies, we go back to Spirit. And there we are as individual consciousnesses, identifiable. We keep our identity. That is so powerful to know about, that surely, people who themselves inwardly sit there like me with a cup of tea thinking, oh, how can I help the whole world? At least you know that there is a power and you can ask. And it's what, of course, everybody calls prayer. The difference is for spiritualists, we know that we are heard. We know that it's acted upon. We know that our prayers work. we have seen so much, help in the world. And if you think about the dreadful things that have gone on in the world that have somehow petered out, all the attempts to eradicate whole tribes of people, all the genocides that have gone on, they haven't succeeded actually in the end. And I would say to you, if you're feeling powerless, pray, ask for help, not just for yourself, of course, but for everybody you're worrying about. And you will see that there is an improvement, even if it's not actually miraculous and immediate. You will see an improvement. And if you look back over millennia, you'll see sitting here now today that we can say that somehow or other, sort of unneeded by a human hand, if you like, everything has come to this stage now. And even, when you look at the dreadful things that are going on with this pandemic, things are settling down. Things are panning out. And whether or not you're in favour of vaccinations or you're not in favour, whether you want to wear a mask or you don't, the fact is that in the due course of time, the power of the Spirit will have worked its magic, and things will move on. They won't be the same because nothing stays the same. Everything moves on, and there is a progression, and there's a spiritual progression. And I would say to you, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Yes, you're going to feel powerlessness at different times, more or less according to what you're thinking about or seeing or hearing about. But know that you are powerful if you just ask for help from the power of the Spirit. And, if whatever you want to call the Great Spirit, God, Allah, whatever anybody else might call it, God, just know that your prayers are always listened to and answered, and that those who are in spirit are working away in areas where we can't touch anything. We can only ask for help, and we can do the best we can. But that's actually the real meaning of you cannot go to heaven just by works alone. You have to have faith. Well, what that means is, yes, you do have to work towards the common good. You have to do a physical human effort towards changing things for the good and for the better, and for not pursuing evil ways. By the way, you will get paid back afterwards when you're over there. Never mind. Better to be good down here. But the fact is this, that all the good that you do, that is all mirrored by them upstairs, and your spirit will evolve and progress according to spirit, regardless of how much good you do. Because some people can't do a lot, but nevertheless, it all contributes to making this world a bit better place to live in, and a bit more imbued itself with that power of the Spirit. And, when people know that there is that power available to them, it can make a great deal of difference to your life. And, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling desperate, just know that there is that power of the Spirit that's available to you. And if you're, worried or lonely, look for a spiritualist church or a spiritualist meeting place, something like that, and you will be welcomed and you will be befriended. And I've always said this, that if you feel lonely, go out and see who you can help, because you won't be lonely anymore. God bless you.
Lynn, thank you. And yeah, absolutely, as always, spot on. There is something that you said, and it suddenly occurred to me about the darkness. Why is it so perfectly natural when we pray to close our eyes unless we're reaching for that spark within the darkness? So, I just thought I'd throw my 10 penneth in, or my heart, my halfpenny, as my nan used to say. Because, let me just unmute you. 1 second.
You have to sit on your halfpenny, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Naughty boy.
Well,
Sit on it.
it wouldn't be the first time I've been told that, but never during a service.
That's what your nan would have meant.
I know. Oh, I know. Definitely. Well, Lynn, thank you so much. Everyone's loving it in the chat. Let me just mute because I can't stand hearing myself. I hate the sound of my own voice, believe it or not. People would disagree. But seriously, you've started a huge conversation in the chat box. It's wonderful. And thank you, Michael. Yes. Nick's mountain analogy. Technically, it's not mine. I stole it from a song. But basically, when we say in the prayers, we do not ask you to move the mountain, just give us the strength to climb. I did steal that from a song, I must confess. I've always admitted that, but it ties in so very much with what you said and what's been discussed, certainly with Evelyn's comments. So, Lynn, thank you ever so much. I'll just unmute you before I get rid of you.
Well, yeah, I was so intent on staring into the camera, this wretched webcam thing. I've got to get a new one. That I never saw any comments whatsoever. So I have no idea if anybody was saying, "Yeah, boo, get her off," or anything. Where's the book? So I'm now able to see some of the comments, and I hope that they have enjoyed my little chat. And it was so nice to be able to speak to people. Thank you for inviting me.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you, Lynn, and we'll see you at the end. God bless. Well, here we go. It's another bit of a twisty-turny night because there's a few differences and changes, but those involved in that know who they are. Sam. So we're going to continue, of course, and it's really important that I've struggled this week, I'll be honest, to find the words to express how I feel about what's going on in the world at the moment, especially in Israel. But then we find as spiritualists that when we struggle to find the words ourselves, Spirit will provide them. And usually it is in the darkest moment that we see the brightest light. So, thank you, Lynn, for that. It really is quite important message for all of us, and it applies to everything and everyone. So thank you. God bless you, girl. And so now let us move forward to our first reading of the evening. And I don't mean readings as in mediumship. I mean, we've got 2 readings tonight. So let's see where Alan is before his internet disconnects, because I know Sam and Hannah's can be a little bit more stable. Reverend Alan, where are you? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Nick. I'm here. What a wonderful address that was, Lynn. And over the weeks and time that I've done the weekly readings and the way we do them, as opposed to most places, I'm always amazed at how they actually tie in. Well, believe me, this one's going to blow your socks off, Nick. It is actually an adaptation of a hymn. It's called Holy Spirit, All Divine, and it is by Trina Graves. Holy Spirit, truth divine, is within this soul of mine. Words of God and purest light are my spirit and my sight. Holy Spirit, love divine, glows within this heart of mine, shining out for all those to see. God's higher love flows through me. Holy Spirit, power divine, fills and is a strength of mine. I am powered by pure light, all I need to do things right. Holy Spirit, love divine, leads and is the way of mine. God is present everywhere. In his light, my life I share. Holy Spirit, peace divine, always is the core of mine. I am serene and tranquil, steadfast in God's peace, so still. Holy Spirit, joy divine, constant is the aim of mine. Beauty surrounds, life is fun, sings my soul, we are all one. Thank you.
So say we all. So say we all. And you're even getting a bit of a ripple downstairs as well. So well done, mate. And absolutely, Susan, absolutely agree. It certainly does tie in so well. And, you know, that's what I love about Spirit. And it's exactly what Lynn was saying. In the darkest moments, the brightest light shines. And that's what Spirit does for us. And it always will. Thank God. Please God and thank God, you know. You know, Alan, as ever, thank you. You're getting good at this, mate. Yes, you've had plenty of practice, to be fair. You've had plenty of practice.
Yeah, that's right. You know, practice makes perfect, but, you know, perfection can never be achieved because you can always strive to be better.
Absolutely. Strive for see, this is where I washed my tongue earlier and I can't do anything with it. Strive for perfection, knowing that we will always get close, but never close enough. Excellent. Correct. Thank you, Alan. God bless you, mate.
You're welcome.
I knew it was going to be an interesting evening in the sense of a philosophical state, because I often find that it's going to be that kind of night when someone else says to me, has Alan got a reading? Can I do one? And usually I will think I'll have a word with Alan because he's always happy to step aside for someone else to have words. Absolutely. But they said no, have both. Have both. Yeah. So stay tuned, mate, because we're about to have a reading number 2. Yeah. See you soon, buddy.
Yeah.
God bless.
Bye, Alan.
Bye. And of course, our second reading, she knows it's her and she's ready for it. Are you there, Sam?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. How are you doing? How's everybody?
Getting there, love. Getting there, love. So, what have you got for us tonight?
Well, I'm really pleased because it actually ties in tonight. And I was a little bit unsure, and I passed it by my biggest critique, and Hannah said, "No, go with it." So, let's see. It's called Created, and it's by Lisa D. Scott. When God created you, he knew what he would see. Someone that wasn't perfect, or in heaven he would be. Sorry. He put you here on earth to lead this life you live, learning as you go, giving what you can give. He knew that you would stumble and sometimes even fall. He knew that you would suffer, and in Jesus Christ you'd call. Mistakes and bad decisions he knew you would make, to live and learn from them, sometimes more than you can take. He has a plan for you from the very first day. Frustrating times will be, but soon you'll see his way. Love, hope, and faith, he'll give this all to you. Patience, please, my friend, how orny if you knew. The love you have inside you, all the good that you do, this does not go unnoticed, and he shall see it too. He'll carry you if he needs be. He'll carry you if he needs to, and he'll hold you when you pray. He knows the pain you carry each and every day. What's brought you to your knees, some give up on you. God will only keep around the ones that see it through. One day you will see what I've been telling you, the love that he's been saving, he created just for you.
Wow.
And I think I just washed my telegraph.
Wow. I'm just, you know, every week something like this on some level happens, but every single week I'm still blown away by just how, and this is why I love our way of life, because they've always got something up their sleeve to slap you around the back of the head and say, hello, we're here, we're watching and we're listening, and we knew exactly what you were going to do. Thank you for getting in touch and saying, can I read it? Because, you know, look at how in tune we are all tonight.
Brilliant. Because I haven't been, I must admit, and then I've lost my way a little bit, but I think I'm back now. So.
I think so, in a big way. As we say, when we're in darkness and we see a pinprick of light in front of us, it's the path ahead. It's very rarely a train heading our way. Sorry, the irony. It's something my granddad used to say to me. He says, it's always the path ahead and rarely a train heading your way down the tunnel. And you know, it was his irony. And I think that ties in with everything that everyone's been talking tonight. Funny that I should say it. We always feel like there's something else going to come and get us. But there's got to be some point where love and faith and courage takes over and gives us the strength we need to carry on. And thank you, everyone, because I know that we've all had a bit of a rough one in our own ways and in our own lives. It's these Thursday nights that keep me going. And I know that everyone has been appreciative of the work you guys have done tonight. So thank you. And we'll see you a bit later on.
See you later.
God bless them. And of course, in that darkness and in that light, we need a little bit of strength, don't we, mate?
We do. We need some healing.
There you is. Oh, are you good? It's almost like it's scripted, but it really isn't. I haven't got time to write anything like that. Yeah. Well, friends, indeed, as Tony said, it is now time for healing. It is like prayer. You don't have to close your eyes on this one, because we do give you some nice candles to focus on, but you can if you want to. Reaching out to the divine is a very personal method. And there's no one way and there's no right or wrong way, only in love. And so let's join together and send out our thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort. And we will start, as ever, with one of those other prayers that has done the rounds over the last year. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for those we know, those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends, now is the time in the evening when our recipients down in the studio downstairs can wake up, just in case they've nodded off. Sorry, I'm always naughty like that. Friends, now is the time in our service when I'm going to hand over to the very capable hands of Reverend Tony, one of only two people that has presented and chaired these Thursday services at Littleport, and you're currently looking at them, believe it or not. I think I might have offered to allow Lynn to chair one week, and she said, "What? Push all those buttons, go away." She's happy for me to push people's buttons for them, in every sense of the word. But no, in all seriousness, my friends, now is the part of our service where we hand over to Tony and his friends and helpers in spirit, the world of spirit, and all of you, all loved ones, reaching out through the veil and through the history to let us know that everything we've just been talking about is absolutely true. And so, as ever, in order of arrival, I will invite our first recipient to the platform, and his name is Anthony. Are you there?
I'm here. Thank you.
Hello,
Hi,
good to see you. It's a name that we see pop up all the time. You have been on the platform with us once before, I do recall. I do love your pictures in the background, by the way. We were discussing them at the beginning as well. Everyone, don't panic. You'll see more of them when I get out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's over to you, lovely gentlemen. I'll see you shortly.
See you soon. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Reverend Tony.
Good. I am pleased. I will just say, as I was talking to you backstage earlier, you know, before the service went live, I was aware of a lady that was stepping forward for me. And as I'm talking to you now, she's just come back. So the lady, as she's connecting with me, I want to say, I get the sense of a very strong lady, a very, she could carry the world on her shoulders is how I'm feeling, you know, and at times it felt like she had the weight of the world on her shoulders. But like we've been saying all night, her faith kept her going, and she carried everything that she needed to carry. She is making me aware of just a little bit of a struggle as she before she transitioned to the world of spirit. So I know she would have, either through old age or through illness, she would have been a little frailer than she had been, if you would understand, please. She's given me some tightness across the chest. I don't know if this is breathing issues or heart issues, but I just feel like I've got a tight band running around my chest. And actually, I do feel breathing because I'm feeling a little breathless and a little like I need to take a deep breath so I can talk. She's coming through with quite a maternal feel, which for me is either a mother or a grandmother or somebody who had that very nurturing feel about her while she was on her side of life, if you understand this, please, Anthony. Right. She says, enough about me. I want to talk about you. That's why I've come tonight. And it's not to talk about me, but I wanted to prove it was me that I'm talking to. So she's very, very matter-of-fact lady, but she's got a really lovely, quite a dry sense of humour, if you understand. Because she is quite, everything she says has a meaning, is what I feel. And she's coming through because she's saying just at the minute, she wants to wrap you up in bubble wrap and just try and keep you safe. So I don't know what's going on in your life at the moment, Anthony, but she's making me feel like she's around and she's just around and protecting you. Okay. She's just shown me a T-junction, and that usually for me means that you've come to a point in your life where it's a turn left or a turn right situation. Going straight ahead is going to be difficult. So there is a decision around and about you that needs to be made of some sort. Would you understand this, please?
There's quite a few. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Which one are you talking about then, sweetheart? Because you're showing me one. Would you? No, not would you understand. You must be able to understand why she's showing me. It's like a butterfly coming out of its chrysalis. It's like I've been a caterpillar for many, many years now, and it's time I show the world who I am and just ta-da, you know, jazz hands and everything, and I'm here. is how she's coming through with it for me. So that's where she's taken me with this, please, Anthony. Okay, as she's talking to me, I'm aware of a gentleman's energy that's coming alongside as well. And the gentleman connects with this lady, if you understand. It's like they're standing together. The gentleman feels a little more reserved than she would have been, because I feel like he's cloaking his energy from me a little bit. It's like he doesn't want to give me everything, just enough to let me know he's there. And I feel this is how he will be in life. He would have been a very private gentleman. Right. He's just said that what's family business is family business, and that's how it should stay. It should be within the family. He wouldn't have liked everybody knowing his business, if you understand. Okay. I get the feeling with him that he's making me feel like either he went to spirit younger, and I'm rubbish with age. I'm not going to even try and guess, but I feel like he wouldn't have got into like his 80s and 90s. He would have gone before this. And I feel like either him or connected around him, it was a quick pass into spirit, because he's snapping at my fingers, and it's like it was very quick. It was very quick. Okay. I feel this gentleman would have been I can't even say it, a gentleman who would have contemplated things a lot before he spoke. So when he actually said something, you knew he really thought about it, and you knew he meant it. And he's telling me, you're a lot like that. You like to think things through and ponder on things, and not to the stage of procrastination, but you like to think about things before you do something, if you understand. And he's telling me that served you well in your life. So you've avoided a lot of tricky situations by doing this. Would you understand this? And I feel like he is saying to me, sometimes you've just got to be a little impulsive and just do things just for the hell of it, just to keep things alive, if you understand. And if it's not for you, Anthony, it's for somebody really close to you. But he's saying there's somebody who, I know I've just said about coming out of the chrysalis, but there's somebody who's just poking their head above it and going, yeah, I'm still not really happy about that. I'm just going back in for another little while. So there's somebody who's keeping themselves locked in, and he's saying they need to get out. They need to get out, and they need to do what they need to do and be who they need to be. All right. Would you would understand the month of June for birthdays, anniversaries, or transitions to spirit? Bless you.
Yeah.
Good, June. Bless you. Well, happy birthday for June. And
it's my mum's and dad's like wedding anniversary. My parents' wedding anniversary. Yeah.
Bless you. But he's also taken me to the 16th of a month. If I get a date, I can be a little bit off. So the 15th or the 17th, but around the 16th of a month must be significant as well for you. And he also wants me to acknowledge a recent passing, and recent is between now and 5 years. So between now and 5 years, there would have been a passing to spirit that they want to acknowledge. But they also want to acknowledge something around now. So where are we? We're sort of the 13th of May. It's my mum's birthday. Happy birthday, Mum. So it's something around now, either a birthday that's just gone or an anniversary that's just gone, but he's talking around now for something that they want to acknowledge. Where are you going now? Okay. My mind's just gone completely blank, and when that happens to me, they usually are signifying for me either a dementia condition or a stroke condition or something in the head that would have affected the thought processes that they want to acknowledge from the world of spirit, if you would understand, please. Because I do feel very confused as well, so that they want to acknowledge this. And oh, bless them. The lady's just stepped forwards again, and she's squeezing my hand, and that is usually a reference for me that somebody would have sat with her and held her hand as she was preparing to take her transition home. So she's just acknowledging that she was aware that somebody was holding her hand. Bless her. Okay. Right. What is that? She's twiddling my rings on my wedding finger. So you would understand, please, where there are rings that are here from spirit, either this lady or somebody connected with this lady, as either a wedding ring, an engagement ring, or a ring that has been left that she wants to acknowledge. Okay. And oh, that's nice. I normally get it going the other way, but she's bringing two paths together for me in my mind's eye. So that's something coming together. Would you understand either a new friendship or a new relationship that's going on around you, please? Because she's just bringing two paths together.
It's hard because it has been hard because I've been on my own and it's lockdown, so isolation. Yeah, so that's been hard. Right.
Okay. But even if it's over the internet, there must be this new interest, this new spark where there's been a connection with somebody, because she's shown two paths coming together. So, okay. All right.
I can understand that.
That's fine. That's fine. It's just she wouldn't take it away, so I knew I had to acknowledge it. Yeah. All right. Well, she's just putting a thumbs up for me, which means well done, about time. So she's really pleased and really proud of everything you've achieved, because she's saying it's well deserved. It's well deserved, and you don't give yourself enough credit for everything you've done and everything you've become. So just accept all of their love, will you please, Anthony? And God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bless you. Well done, Tony, mate. And Anthony, really good to see you again.
It's lovely to see you.
And we're blessed to actually have you on screen, because usually we'd be reading your comments, so it's even better. So thank you so much, mate, and we'll see you at the end.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Bless him. Lovely guy. Lovely guy. Well, now it's Pauline's turn. She's about to be brought up on screen. So I like to mention people's names. It gives them the opportunity to prepare themselves to be thrust upon the world. As we thrust everyone upon the world. So Pauline, are you there? You need to unmute, love.
There you go.
It.
Is that better?
Lovely. That's perfect. Marvellous.
I always forget to press the unmute buttons.
I do that at work on the Teams calls. I'm terrible. You'd think I'd be well practiced by now, but there you go. Never mind. See you in a bit.
Oh, bye. Just went. How are you, Pauline?
Quick.
I know.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. Let's see who wants to step forward. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. It's another lady that's just brought her energy for me. And I usually work a lot with the physicality, and not the physicality, the emotion and the sense of the person, their personalities. But this lady's just said, she looks a lot like me. She looks a lot like me. So this lady, she's connecting with me, saying she looks a lot like you. Facial features, eyes and nose, not so much the mouth and chin, she says, but the
my grandma.
Right, okay, bless you. And I have this thing that seems to have happened on my live feeds, where everybody calls them my feisty ladies, and as she's connecting with me, that's the energy I'm getting, a really outgoing, high energy sort of. I can hear her laughing. So I know she's a lady who would have had a lot of fun and a lot of light energy, as I like to describe it. So she's just bringing that through for me, and she's saying, you used to have that, but just lately you've been a bit more subdued than normal. Would you understand this? I mean, we all have with lockdown and stuff, but she's saying you seem to have gone inwards rather than being outgoing like you were, and she just wants you to bring that back, because she liked that. She liked it when you were laughing and smiling, but it's Nick's Mountains again. You would understand, please, why that line that Nick was talking about is very important to you, about not asking to move the mountain, just have the strength to climb, because you feel like you've been climbing mountains at times in your life. It really has felt like you've been going up on your fingertips, she's telling me. But, oh, bless you. She just wants to say she's so proud of how you've kept your head up and kept your eyes forward and just marched through it, rather than let it define you and break you, if you understand. Because it would have knocked a lot of people, I can't say that, on their bottom. But you got yourself up and you just kept going. And she's very proud of that. And she's saying, like I said to Anthony, you don't give yourself enough credit for that. She's talking about three. She's talking about the three. So mum and dad and a child, or 3 children, 3 grandchildren, I'm not sure, but she's talking about where there would be 3 connected in a family. Could even be 1 parent and 2 children, but there would be a 3.
Me, my sister, and my brother that passed away.
That's fine. If he's your brother, he's still part of the family. So there's the 3 that she's connecting. All right. But she's talking about the 4 in spirit. So I know there's more than that, because I can feel their energies. But there's 4 in spirit that you would hold as close, sweetheart, that she's saying are with her. All right.
Yeah.
As Angie, you said your brother's in spirit, but I have got a younger male energy that's connecting with her. But there's also another lady that's coming in alongside her as well, and she's putting herself on a family link to this lady. So I don't know if this is this lady's sister or daughter, or where that fits.
It'll be your sister.
There's a lady that's coming in alongside her, and right. The lady's energy that I've just got, I want to say she feels like quite a. I've got my shoulders back, my back straight, and I'm a very sort of upright and straight lady, and I feel a little bit more serious than the first lady. I feel. I don't want to say the word stern, but that's the energy I've got at the minute. I feel a bit like you couldn't get away with much with her. Where did you say Granny? Granny, you could get away with quite a lot. Yeah. You know, Quality Streets, other brands of chocolate are available. You've got those toffee pennies, are they? You know, the round in the gold paper.
Oh, yeah.
She's just showing me some of those. I don't know who liked them, but she's just showing me some toffee pennies. And
yeah, she used to eat them.
Bless her. And I really don't like false teeth, but she's just given me a set of false teeth as well. So somewhere connected around Granny, you would understand where there were false teeth, because she's just put them on the computer in front of me. I don't like them. Bless her. Okay. Right. I can hear your accent, but would you understand Irish connections?
Yeah. Atlantic Irish connection, yeah.
Right, okay, because she's just taken me over to Ireland, and I thought, well, that's definitely a Scottish accent I can hear, but she was adamant it was Ireland. I have tattoos as well, and I've just seen one on your hand, but would you understand where there's a memorial tattoo? Not necessarily of Granny or sister, right, because I can just see a memorial tattoo. But as I've said, memorial tattoo, they're taking me outside, so there's something outside as well, either a bush or a tree or a plant, but there's something that's been put outside in memory of as well. So
I've not done it yet. I want to do it. I've been talking about it.
Oh, sorry, they're ahead of the game there then, but they're talking about this, either a bush or a tree or something that's going outside. And that Granny's just laughing, and she's saying there's been talk, or there was talk, about either whether to bury or cremate or what to do with ashes, because she's talking about this big debate about what to do with somebody. So I don't know if she means bury or cremate or what to do with their ashes once they've been cremated, but she's talking about this big big conversation that's been had. Oh, hang on. Right, no, it is about ashes and about where to put ashes or what to do with ashes.
I'll have to ask my mum that.
Right, because she's just talking about that there was a conversation about what to do with ashes, whether to take them somewhere special or to plant. Michael's just put a comment on we plant roses in remembrance, well, to go under a rose bush or something, but she's just talking about this. Okay, sweetheart. Right. She's just brought it back to, she says, enough about us, I'm talking about her again. So, sorry, I've got to come back to you. You must understand where at times in your life, people who were supposed to make the load easier and lighter were actually piling the stuff on. She used a different word, but they've piled the stuff on, and it just got to the point where it was almost the last straw that broke the camel's back with you sometimes. And she's a bit cross about this, and she's saying these are people who should have known better. They should have been helping and taking some of the weight off, but no, they just kept piling and piling and piling, and she was very cross about that. But but she says, you must understand where you've had the last laugh, because people have come to you and have been like, oh, you'll never guess what's happened, and you're like, well, yeah, but where were you when I needed it? But she says, you've been the bigger person and you've given the help. Where they added to your problems, you actually did take some of the load away. She wants me to put in my thumb. I've just seen a little one go behind her. I was just going to talk about the younger ones, and one's just walked behind you. You would understand why she wants to put a thumbs up and just say she's very proud of them. She's very proud of the younger ones. They're a credit to you. They're a credit to you. And you brought them up in much the way that she would have brought hers up, you know, manners and please and thank you. And she says it costs nothing, but it makes such a big difference in the world. And she's very proud of that. She's talking about one of them, like they all like the gizmos and the gadgets, but one of them must like the games a lot.
My oldest boy. My oldest one.
Lot. Yeah. A lot. And she's saying that there's times to go outside. It's a nice world out there, so go out and enjoy it. But she's tapping my head like this, and she's saying, but they've all got it. They've all got the smarts. They've all got the smarts. So they all must be really, really intelligent. And again, it's a credit to you. It's a credit to you because they apply it. They do apply it. Because normally after that I get, but there's one who needs to just, but she's saying they're all applying it and doing well. They're all doing well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one of yours, sweetheart, but she's talking about one of them had a bit of a shaky start at school. If it's not one of yours, it's somebody around the family that would have had a little bit of a shaky start at school. Right, that's fine. But she's saying it's settled down, and you know, she must know the reading's going to be, Nick must be going to pop up in a bit because she suddenly starts to try and get everything in. I wear a cross and chain under my shirt, but she's pulling on that. So would you understand where a necklace came down from spirit, so was left in the family? I'm not saying a cross and chain, it could be a locket or a pendant. There will be a necklace.
I put my necklace at my granny's.
Oh, sorry, I've got that the wrong way around. Sorry,
I took my necklace off because I didn't have a flower, so I took my heart, my memorial thing, and put it in my coffin with her.
My mistake. It's just when they pull on my chain. It sounds wrong. When they pull my cross and chain, it usually means to me that they've left a necklace. But sorry, it's me getting it wrong, not spirit. I should always trust the information spirit gave me. Bless you, sweetheart. I hope that was okay for you, my darling.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Lovely energies. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bless you, darlings. Can you hear me? Because my microphone's on the wonk.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But I could hear you, which was the great thing. So, you know, absolutely wow, and thank you for coming on, Pauline. I know when you messaged me last week, I thought, she's going to get pulled from the hat this week, and then sure enough, you were. So
I know I got a surprise this morning when you saying that I was going to got my name got pulled out. I was like, oh great.
You actually did well, because usually I'm a lot later with sending the messages out, as Tony will attest. It's usually about 5 minutes before. I'm terrible, but they were on form this morning.
Comment.
Yes. Bless him. But yeah, thank you, Pauline, and I hope that's been.
Thank you, and you're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
God bless. Bye. Well, now is the time to invite someone else. Oh, even the seagulls now know what time it is. I heard them.
They're all getting excited.
Yeah, and you're going to hit me in a minute as well. But first and foremost, let's get some tradition out of the way. Sam, Hannah. Fully special prize. Hannah, my darling, how are you?
Good.
What have you been up to this week?
Went up to craft. Yeah. Talking to your friends. Yeah. Done.
Bless you. So you've been keeping very busy then, darling?
Yeah. Yeah. Very
good.
Henry, say hello. Henry says hello.
Oh, hello, Henry. How are you? Every time this head just. Bless you. Well, thank you for continuing the traditions, and we'll see you at the end, my lovelies.
Yeah.
God bless. Oh, I love it. The way Henry's head just. Now, she's put me in a neck of a spot, but your next recipient is really, really struggling, and I promise. Look, I show you conversation with. She's struggling to get on, so it's going to be this way. She can hear you, but she can't get online through StreamYard. So she's going to text me her answers. I did try and say, can you ring me? But she's being stubborn because her phone is being stubborn, is the fair point. So your recipient is called Sharon, and she is listening. Sharon. So it's now over to you.
Okay. Hello, Sharon. Who have I got? I have a gentleman connecting from the world of spirit that would like to connect. as he's connecting with me, he's giving me this really sharp pain right in the middle of my chest, if you would understand that. And I'm finding it very difficult to speak because of what's going on around my chest, if you understand. Okay, I was taking it off, so that's all right. He's also giving me the right. Step back a little bit, please. You've given me too much energy there. He's coming through with ever such a lot of emotion, Sharon, if you understand this. So he is coming through with a lot of love for you, and he also wants you to pass down some of this love as well. So if you would understand that, it's got to go the generation down as well, and maybe again, because it's still rolling. I can feel it rolling through, so it's coming down and going on and on and on. But the gentleman, as he's connecting with me, I want to say he's reminding me a lot of my granddad. There's a person having the audacity to walk past, sorry. In that he's a very laid back chap. In fact, he's so laid back, he's horizontal at times. And I'm finding it really difficult not to connect with him, but it's like he's taking so long to give me the energy. So he's like, tomorrow will do, tomorrow will do, tomorrow will do. And he's smirking as he's saying it. So he knows it's winding you up as much as it's winding me up. Bless him.
The answer came back laying on the floor, horizontal.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, all right. But why wind yourself up and get yourself all agitated about stuff you can't do anything about? You would understand as well, please, my darling, where he could be a little bit naughty in how he would say things and how he would put things across. A bit like we do, a bit double entendre sometimes, and a little bit on the spicy side, shall we say. Not that he was disrespectful, but just that was his personality. He liked to be a bit cheeky, chappy, if you would understand. Okay, what have we got? Right. Could you understand, please, why he's making me feel like... No, he's not making me feel like, because he's just said it to me. It was a blooming shock. It was a blooming shock. As much of a shock to him as it was to you, if you would understand this. And,
yes.
Right. Because I'm not quite sure where this fits, but that's all he said to me, so I'll pass it on the way he gave it to me. Playing with my wedding ring. Either his ring had to come off or his ring came off prior to him transitioning. The thing is, I know exactly which dog it is, because there's only one dog that reacts like that too, and he really hates it. Okay, bless. And this chap's just said, "Oh, just tape its mouth shut in the nicest possible way," just as a quirky sort of that's just how he would be. Bless him. I love this energy. I really do love his energy. Right, he's actually just stepped to one side and he's brought a lady through, and the lady, as she's connecting with me, again, I've got this tightness across my chest, and I know that breathing was an issue for me, but not just at the end of my life. I want to go back with this. It's historic. It's historic because it feels established. And I really don't like it because it's not nice. It's uncomfortable. And she's saying, "Neither did I, dear. Neither did I." So she's lovely energy. Lovely energy. I will take this chap's advice in a minute. I really will. All right. Could you acknowledge for me, please, the 7th? And would you also acknowledge the 7th month? So that will be July. July will be significant in the family. And I also want to go to... Oh, hang on. Oi, you know. Right. I've just got Ruby. So either rubies will be significant for you, or he's talking about something like a ruby wedding or a ruby anniversary or something of this nature that he wants to acknowledge. And he's also, the gentleman's come back in now, sorry. He's talking about the 5. So I don't know if that's mum and dad and 3 children or 5 children, 5 grandchildren, but I've got to acknowledge the 5. And I've also got to acknowledge May. So May is now, isn't it? So
yes, it is.
Either birthdays or anniversaries around now would be significant. And what was that, sweetheart? I didn't understand that. Okay. There's a lady that wants to just pop in and be acknowledged, and my grandma was called Nancy, but her real name was Anne, and she's just come forward. So I don't know whether it's a Nancy or an Anne or where this fits, but I've got either an Anne or a Nancy, or a Nancy who was Anne, that wants to come in as well. And all right. And as she's coming in, again, I've gone a little bit blank. So either a stroke condition or a dementia condition that wants to be acknowledged from the world of spirit as well. That's not helping, Michael. Just throwing a question at him, which is just setting my more. Right. And I know my dog's barking, but I can hear a bigger dog barking from the world of spirit as well. So I want to acknowledge a larger dog that is around. And when I see dogs, it's usually for protection and loyalty that they're coming through as well. So there's a reason why they want to just bring some protection around the recipient, because at the minute there's some vulnerabilities going on, the gentleman's telling me. And it's very much that, again, like I said to Anthony at the beginning, that wanting to wrap you up in bubble wrap like you are a China doll, that they want. And oh God, this is so hard, because the China doll's just shown me is broken and glued back together. So there's this sense of being broken and brought back, but not quite the same, that he wants to acknowledge from the world of spirit as well. And as he's saying that, I'm just feeling very emotional, and he's just sort of saying, but I'm around, because you feel that cobwebby sensation on your cheek when I'm kissing you on the cheek. So he's just bringing that in. But again, I want to pass that down and say that other members of the family feel that as well when this gentleman's around them. And there's also a distinctive smell that he's talking about as well that can be smelled when he's around and about, and I don't know what it is, but it's just this smell that he wants me to acknowledge as being very significant. There was also something significant with me, he says. So there was something with him as he took his final journey home. So there was something put with him that meant a lot that he wants to acknowledge. And I want either something paper, something card, either a letter or a photograph or something that, and oh, he must know it's coming to time as well, because he's starting to rush me. So stop it. You're going to make me cry. His wallet, something in his wallet. There was something tucked in his wallet, either a passport photograph or something quite small that was in his wallet that he wants to acknowledge. but something that's like a coin, but it's not a coin. Either a badge or a token or a medallion or something that's not a coin was in his wallet. And he's used that word again that lady was using earlier, but there was some absolute rubbish in his wallet. So he's apologizing for the rubbish that was found in his wallet as well. But it wasn't as bad as my bedside cabinet or the drawer next to me.
Or everything else as well.
Yeah. But he's just coming through that. And as you were rubbing your glasses then, Nick, this gentleman must have worn spectacles at some point, because he's putting his spectacles on the table and he's saying, and they're still around, so his spectacles are still around, and he's calling them specs. I always say my glasses, but he's talking about his specs. So it's talking about that. And I don't like teeth, but he's given me some false teeth as well. I'm not saying they're his, but he's talking about the false teeth as well. And the missing teeth. So I don't know what the missing teeth are, but he's talking about the missing teeth. Like I say, he's really rushing to try and get everything in that he wants to say. But finally, he's just playing with my watch. So I don't know if his watch is around or where his watch is. But please, when you look at his watch, there's something around the time. So there's something to do with the time that his watch has stopped at. That is very significant. And he wants to acknowledge that. The Book of John.
I understand what that is. Yeah.
That's fine, as long as you understand the Book of John. And he's pleased his funeral wasn't a dirge. He didn't want it to be a dirge. He wanted it to be a celebration of everything he was. And the lady that popped in with the chesty problems has just popped back in and she says, mine wasn't either. Mine was fun. So her funeral was fun as well. So, right. Who's having? I'm having a scan of my heart on Monday, but somebody's having tests, issues, hospital appointments, because he's talking about the going for tests, which is why I was reminded of mine on Monday. Horace, shush! Stop telling him off.
You shouldn't call it Horace. I've just get to give you some of the confirmation because brilliant. I've just had another reply to that as well. It's next week on Wednesday. Her partner, her husband, is going for something to do with his heart monitor. The Anne is her grandmother, because she was always called Sally Ann. And some of the comments of "oh my God" and other such phrases with it, I'm not allowed to repeat because she was quite gobsmacked.
Okay.
So absolutely stunning. Thank you. Sharon, was that all right for you, dear? I was just to prove that it's not me for a second, to see when the bless him. Thank you. Bless him. So, yes, I can confirm, and I will now explain that. Yes, I can show you something. Give me a second.
Okay.
The medallions you were talking about were made by Sharon for 3 members of the family.
Oh, right.
Because Sharon's my sister, and this is the wedding ring, and this is the token that she had made of Dad's fingerprints, and we had an awful struggle to get hold of the ring, but what she got really, really excited about was the fact that they did lose Dad's false teeth. They did lose Dad's false teeth, and we've told nobody about that. So mum's watching. I would imagine she's been doing Fruit Loops, and Sharon, bless her, she's bless him. Thank you. I'm his sister. Tell him, oh yes. So yeah, she did try and get on, but there's been problems with technology. And as always, you wouldn't have known her voice, you wouldn't have known her face, even if she had come on anyway. Because although we're on a spectrum of the same colour, she has a different surname to me, so it wouldn't have given anything away. So there was no slight. It's just literally the technology let us down. But that was just amazing, and to get the bit about the false teeth got a very, very interesting reaction. And there was a couple of the dogs. The dogs like it. Dad was always winding up my sister's dogs. In particular, Susie and Bernie, the big one who would come for protection. So, and look, the message is over and they're quiet again. Yeah. So he was probably he was probably waving chocolate eclairs at them, which is something that he used to do. So, Tony, well done, mate. I've just had a message from Mother as well. So, well done. That is just stunning. And if you don't believe me, let's ask Reverend Lee.
Fantastic. Well done, Reverend Tony. And well done for Spirit.
Yeah.
And, I thought straight away when your dog was creating like that, I thought, I knew when you said you had a dog there that your dog was responding to the dog in spirit, because they always do. And then Reverend Nick talked about that particular aspect as well.
Yes.
Because, this is what happens. And it was a very impressive demonstration of mediumship, Reverend Tony. And I'm so proud that you're one of our ministers, and just lovely. And what I love most of all is that you bring that to the table of any skeptic, and you would defy them to refute that evidence that you gave. And, when they're always levelling these accusations at us of, just generalizations or giving trivia, the detail is in the minutiae, and they're never generalizations. The fact is that every human being is in general with the next human being. So, there are things that apply adequately and specifically to each human being as an individual, as well as to all of us. And I think that you demonstrated without doubt. Doris Stokes always said to me, give them one blinding piece of evidence that they can't refute. And you certainly did that. You've given, three people, three blinding pieces of evidence that they can't refute. So really, that's all you need to do. Amongst all the other stuff, the one thing that really gets to them is what can't be disputed by anybody. So you've done that, and thank you so much for flying the flag for Spirit, holding the torch, keeping that light on for everybody. And it was tremendous. And Reverend Nick will tell you, because he knows he's in charge of everything, and he sees who's here and who isn't. And he knows that I was sitting here the whole time listening to what you were saying and enjoying your demonstration. I mean, just as I would have if you'd have been in the church hall. So I'm really looking forward to you having to make the schlap to come to Littleport Village Hall and serve us in the future. And your dog is so cute.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you say his name is Taurus?
Horus.
The dogs, the male dog's Horus, and this is Pippin.
Oh, I say, how sweet. But yeah, so definitely, I used to do readings for dogs. One time I'll do a reading for yours if you like, Tony.
Thank you.
Reverend Tony.
Thank you.
It was just lovely, and I know that everybody absolutely loved your demonstration of mediumship, and so I'm so glad that you're a minister with us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Tony, if you'd like to take a look in the private chat box, there's a message there for you as well. So it's just what a wonderful. I'm just going to mute you a second, Lynn, because as we all know, I hate myself repeating on myself. But yeah, absolutely. And as everyone could see, there was some comments coming from both Mum and my sister in the chat, the public chat. Yeah, they did put a picture of Grace in with Dad, and Mum put a letter in with him. And in actual fact, the 5 that you were talking about is 5 females. The 5 females, because there is Mum, my sister, Tiffany and Cassandra, my sister's children, and Grace, Tiffany's daughter. And you said about it rolling down to a further generation. And actually there was quite a lot of rubbish to sort through, and there was actually a token in the wallet as well. It was a token for a trolley, for the trolley. So it was a coin, but not a coin. And there was a lot of things to sort through, but not all of it was rubbish in his wallet, because I found a card in there that I needed very desperately one day. To have my car repaired. So there we go.
There you go.
Story for another day. But no, what wonderful night, mate. And, you know, I can attest on behalf of everyone else what excellent demonstration that was. So, wow. Well, I think it's time, my friends, to get everyone back up to say good night and God bless and send out our prayers. So everyone who's still in the studio, I'm about to bring you back up. Forewarned is forearmed. Here we go. One more. There we are. So, friends, let us say, first and foremost, thank you to everyone who's been watching and taking part, to everyone at home who's been involved in making this a wonderful, wonderful service. Tony, thank you so much for your excellent demonstration. Lynn, of course, as ever, thank you for your philosophical input into our services. And to our readings tonight, Reverend Alan and Sam, absolutely stunning. How, yeah, I know I try and get away from saying it, but I'm going to say it. How do they do that? Hannah, of course, thank you for being the master of ceremonies and letting us know that there's only one left. And to Anthony and Pauline, and of course Sharon, for coming on to be recipients, and of course everyone at home who diligently joins us for a bit of life upliftment and laughter and love every week. We do appreciate you, and we will always be here for you no matter what. And on that note, let us pray. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and compassion. We ask that your light shine to each corner of the world. We ask that your light shine in the hearts of all those with power over others, so that the powerless may become powerful. For we know that in the darkness there is always the light, and the light is the light that shines us down the path. And in our times of difficulty, Great Spirit, let us remember that courage is found in the smallest of places. And as ever, we ask that you do not move the mountain. Just give us the strength to climb. Until we meet again, I ask for a blessing to be placed on each person here present, the friends and family they represent, both those here in the studio, watching at home, and those who will watch in the future, so that your web of love might shine eternally and infinitely across this earth. Until we meet again. Amen.
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 Well, friends, that's another Thursday over. Thank you all for joining us. But from here at Littleport, it's time to say good night. I will share the song that the hymn, almost actually, that the mountain reference comes from a little bit later on. But until next week, when we will see you all again, please God, good night, God bless, and see you all soon. And a final message about what time it is from someone very close to my heart. The kitchen is now open. Good night and God bless. you.